Abdullah of Saudi Arabia is in Washington today, where he will be having a working lunch with President Obama. You can expect Israel and Iran to be major topics of conversation. Robert Jordan knows a thing or two about the U.S.-Saudi relationship. He served as U.S. ambassador to Riyadh from 2001 until 2003, including those very difficult days following the 9/11 attacks. He's now a senior partner at Baker Botts, where next month he'll take over the firm's Mid-East offices. So he's still a frequent visitor and new resident to the region. He joins us now from Dallas. Mr. Ambassador, King Abdullah has had tremendous influence in governing Saudi Arabia even before he became king. You know the man. Can we call him a reformer?
I think you certainly can call him a reformer. In many ways, he's trying to drag the rest of the kingdom into the 21st century. He has a vision. He wants better education for his population. He wants more rights for women. And he's trying to do this at a pace that his society can keep up with and put up with.
Those sound like great principles, particularly to a U.S. audience, but there has got to be some spillover, some pushback to some of those things. Talk to me about the calculus behind that. Why would this 86-year-old monarch want to be a reformer?
Well, I think he's a person who understands the precarious position his kingdom is in. They have a youth bulge. Over half the country is under the age of 20, certainly. They are not as well educated as they need to be to assume the jobs that are coming in to the society. They've had pretty much a religious curriculum up to this point, and he understands that if they don't have jobs, there's really a threat to the stability of the kingdom, because young men without jobs, with frustrations, with anger about their situation, are not good for the royal family or the stability of the regime. So it's partly survival, and I think he also believes it's the right thing to do.
And some of those changes, they may seem small from the outside, but internally in Saudi are a very big deal. The economic front has been a big one for King Abdullah to engage on, but I've spoken to governing authorities there in the financial markets who say Americans are very slow to access Saudi. Why is that?
It's a combination of factors. I think after 9/11, we had kind of a hangover in terms of our view of security. Even the embassy there has been very slow to allow dependents to come back to the post there in Riyadh and Jeddah. And so they are now in the process of allowing adult dependents to come back. I think this will have a ripple effect on the American business community and probably on insurance coverage that American businesses will have. But they clearly have been slow to come back, and I'm afraid that we are having our lunch eaten by the Chinese and other competitors.
I mean, give me a sense here where you think the U.S. relationship is here. I know after 9/11 it was a tenuous relationship here. I know on the investment front, Saudi investors have been very reluctant to lock up money in U.S. institutions for fear of safety of their finances. On the political scale, though, describe for me where the relationship is now with the Obama administration.
I think there's a sense of disappointment right now on the part of the Saudis with the Obama administration. President Obama made a really nice speech in Cairo a year ago in June, and he said some very nice things about the Muslim world and the Middle East.
Right.
The question at that time, the big question at that time was, what will he deliver? What will his actions be? And I think the Saudis and other Arabs have certainly been disappointed in Obama's performance. Obama made grandiose statements about the Israelis needing to limit the expansion of their settlements, particularly in East Jerusalem. And yet when the Israelis pushed back, Obama said, well, okay. And I think the Arabs paid particular attention to that. And so they are quite mistrustful, I would say, of this rhetoric. And the question is, what's going to happen?
All right, Mr. Ambassador, thank you for giving us your insight.